Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Chaos to Closing. I'm Danielle.
I'm Trudy.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Mike, aka Casino Home Inspection.
Hey, finally.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this was very long awaited. Mike
Oh.
is a loyal Chaos fan, even since season 1. He was ready to share his knowledge with you all. We're very excited to have you.
Excited.
So with that being said, can you give everyone a little intro about yourself, Mike?
Mike Casino, aka Mike Martin. That's my alias, but no one really knows that. Sometimes
Do people think your last name's Casino?
I honestly thought it was. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Nobody knows. But sometimes people write me checks, but I have to be like, yeah, it's not my name.
Really?
Yeah. Michael Casino, and I'm like, yeah, it's not my name, so you have to change it.
That's so funny.
God.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm a home inspector, New York City fireman, mold assessor. Do a little
I
bit of
forgot that you're a fireman.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so part-time. Been doing it for 5 years.
Nice.
And just been growing a lot lately.
Yeah.
You know.
Amazing. All over social media.
Yeah, I try the social media a lot. You know?
Yeah, no,
I try
you
to
are very good.
Yeah.
I try to do
That
a little-
and networking events. I feel like every event we're at, we usually see you.
Yeah.
I try to go to as many as I can. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's harder than with your schedule.
Yeah,
Having
yeah.
2 jobs, scheduling the
Right.
inspections. But that's why I've been growing my team lately. I have 2 inspectors that I work for me now. So there's 3 of us.
Exciting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever want to go more than that.
Yeah.
Because
Then it's like a lot.
yeah, as you grow,
Yeah.
you have to be.
Then you have to like manage people kind of under.
Yeah, you have more, personalities, how
Yeah.
this person
Yeah,
does
more
it,
responsibilities.
Yeah, and then
lot.
more issues,
Right.
and stuff like that. So,
Of course.
but you get your time back.
Yeah.
So I'm like more working on my phone and less in the field.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's true.
It's pretty good.
I'm actually curious because like you thought it too. So how
Yeah.
did you come up with Casino?
That was going to be my question.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I can tell this story. This is a long story. Long story short.
Yes, the
long story
abridged
short,
version.
My father's real father's name is Casino with 2 S's.
Oh.
So when I started the business, Martin Casino, Martin Home Inspections, it doesn't sound like people think it's Martin with a T, and then it's just it would have been fine, but they also say not to use your last name.
Oh,
so like it's like you shouldn't use your last name in your business; they can kind of be separate. So then I said, all right, I'll use my alias.
Yeah,
last name.
Casino.
I like
And
it.
I like it because it's such a standout. Like,
Yeah.
no one's going to be like, wait, who was like Casino Home Inspection? Like, you know who it is.
And I
That
took the
is
S
so
off because there's
cool.
2 S's in the last name. So
Yeah.
it's Casino with 2 S's. So I was like, obviously, I'm not going to have my email be Casino with 2 S's.
Yeah.
It's going to be
'Cause everyone's gonna,
Casino
like, mess it up.
Common spelling.
Yeah.
On the phone, Casino Home Inspections, common spelling.
Wow.
Right.
That's it, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a longer version of that story, but I'm not
That's
telling
the
you.
abridged version for all of you.
It's a way
That
longer
is so
version.
cool. So, Mike, what made you want to get started in home inspections?
Pretty much right after COVID, during COVID, I was a police officer.
Oh,
You've done everything.
Yeah,
under the sun.
And then I became, I left that job. I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Had a plan to start the business, and my dad had a friend that was doing it, a retired fireman, and I shadowed him, and then I said, this is something I could definitely do.
Yeah.
I saw what he did, and I said I could do this, and I knew I could, and I didn't know the market was going to do what it did.
Of
that
course.
year.
I was gonna
say, yeah.
It was crazy. I went to like 2 networking events, and I did like 75 inspections my first year.
Wow.
That's insane.
I
You
met,
could have
like,
started
Justin-
at a better time.
I met like Justin Soriano, like all that crew.
Yeah.
I met them, at like the perfect time.
Yeah,
It was
no,
crazy,
for real.
And it was insane. Like it was, and I was unemployed. I had the business and that was it. So I didn't have I wasn't a fireman yet. So
Right.
I said yes to everything,
Wow.
Right.
No, yeah.
That's amazing. I know. I never knew that. So like you didn't even have really an interest in real estate prior.
No, not at all.
But I
No
feel like that's
interest
a
in-
good route because like, you're a cop, you're a fireman, like you're more of like the nitty gritty, like hands-on type
Yeah.
of work.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is like perfect.
Yeah, crawl spaces. And
Yeah.
it has a lot to do with, I always tell everybody the jobs cross paths a lot.
I was going to say,
building
I'm sure with-
construction, fire safety,
Yeah,
safety.
that's a good point.
It's they're all pretty related,
Yeah.
in terms of when it comes to construction,
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's in real estate,
Yeah.
Wow.
I love
I
it.
feel like I just learned so much. It's only been like 2
I know.
minutes in.
Sorry, yeah.
No, don't be sorry. That's very interesting.
No,
This is why we love having people on the
Yeah, yeah.
podcast because I did know you were a fireman. Totally
Yeah, I did
forgot
not
about
know
it,
you were
but
a
like
police
didn't know you were a
officer.
cop.
Yeah.
So like, wow, you're always helping people.
I became a cop in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like 10 years ago, right?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
9 years ago. 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Yeah. So
Don't make her think about it.
that was 9 years ago. Like that was a long time
Wow.
ago.
That's crazy.
great.
How old are you?
31.
It's okay. I'm 28, so
I was born in 93, so
I feel your pain.
right? Not 32?
I don't know.
93. My birthday's in March.
You're definitely not.
Well, if you were 94, you're 30, so you're 31. So can you walk us through the process of like a typical home inspection? What are key things that you really look out for?
Yeah, so pretty much you meet the client at the property, give them the spiel, I call it, what they're going to expect from the report, what the report looks like. And then every inspector will have their own process. I do the outside and then top to bottom.
Yeah.
So the outside, the roof, and then I'll do the top floor to the basement. And that's pretty much it. And it's weird. Every client's different. Some people want to just roam. Some people want to stay with you in your hip pocket the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's whatever, you have to just feel everybody out.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. That's why no inspection's the same. Some people ask a million questions. Some people don't ask a single question. And then some people don't ask anything and then call me the next day with 100 questions. Right. And then some people ask me 100 questions in person and then ask me 100 questions on the phone. So it's there's no
in between.
Yeah. It's people all over the place. So, that's pretty much the process, what we're inspecting is it's pretty uninteresting, honestly.
It's uninteresting?
The electrical, the roof, the foundation, it's, the more you do it, the more you see the same stuff.
Yeah.
So it gets so
is it more fun to have a house that you're whoa, this actually sucks?
Yeah, like a shitty house?
Yeah. No.
No, okay. You'd rather
nicer houses.
He's
are the best.
That report is going to be
the most
terrible.
fun inspections of the houses that I want or they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous. I keep telling people I'm jealous. You're buying this house. The houses that are really, really bad, I'm usually not too.
He knows that inspection report's going to be
it takes the report longer. It takes everything longer.
But at least that goes to show because if my inspector was hey, this house is beautiful. If it were me, I would buy it. I would feel better about my decision.
Yeah, especially when you see when I see cool things, if I see under a staircase, a kid's little play area or something, a little hiding spot.
Right.
They cool stuff like that. It's the stuff that's fun. But seeing something that's when the house is really bad, that's the thing that's the worst. When the house is really bad, it's there's so much stuff. Let's say there's just damage everywhere.
Yeah.
You just have to say, hey, there's damage all over the place.
Do you feel bad at all?
No, I feel I just want to make sure they understand. There's just damage everywhere. Again, but people's level of what's okay and what's not okay is always different.
100%.
Is that people's normal is different. Their normal how paint should look or or what their quality of craftsmanship that they'll accept.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Right.
So I try to always feel everybody out this is see what you see here and it's damage. That's it. But when there are safety things are the only thing I'm there's no
that's
there's no black and white.
It's this is a problem, it's a safety issue and you have to fix it. Cause a fire.
100%. That's why I feel sometimes agents we've heard they'll be don't kill my deal with inspectors, but it's especially for us, I would never want my clients, especially if they have children, moving into a house that could have excessive mold or like you said, a safety issue. You said, there's no black and white. It is what it is, and you have to get it fixed.
Well, some people will not fix things, which is fine. I tell them if you're gonna fix it, just call. If you're gonna fix this, just call and get quotes.
Yeah.
Because I don't, as you peel back layers, also things become more serious.
100%.
So that's why. I'm trying to think of something that's, the other this month, I had a person that they needed a new panel.
Okay.
That's usually $2,000-$3,000, right? Turns out there was more damage outside with this with the service. It turned into $8,000.
Yeah.
Now, is that whose fault? And they bought the house already,
right? Okay.
So I refunded that person their money.
Oh, that was nice of you.
But because I feel bad, but it wasn't necessarily our fault.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're
there's only
I don't want to say they were blaming us. They weren't necessarily blaming us.
Yeah.
But the point is something small that you think, this is a typical thing.
Yeah.
Becomes, we missed this and it's actually this.
Yeah.
So now it goes, and things are expensive. So
no, for sure. I would say the same thing. Yeah.
That's the risk you take when you're buying.
100%.
That's why I don't always say it. That's why guys are usually vague when they're doing their inspection because it's I don't know what this is going to cost.
You don't know I always tell my clients too, once you start ripping down the walls and you start going behind things, it's not things just that. Usually things start popping up. There could be mold, there could be water. The electrical could be terrible. You never know what you're getting into once you start.
Right. And you can't see behind walls. So
they were, they were still upset. Because they were, but I was just there's nothing, we could have done to, to catch that.
Right.
People paint we put this stuff in the report. Oh, there's paint on the pipes, so you can't tell
how old they are. Yeah.
Right.
Brand new paint, you can't. What am I going to scrape? I'm not scraping paint off, you know. But usually that's a sign.
Yeah.
Like if you see a gas line that's painted,
something's weird. Yeah.
But that's pretty much the
process.
The process. Yeah. There you go.
Wow,
The process. The process. Yeah.
What should home buyers look for when hiring an inspector?
I would say reviews.
Okay.
Like we have over 150 reviews.
Amazing.
I think that there's definitely different styles of guys.
Yeah.
So, people are going to, take your recommendations from friends.
Yeah.
I get most of my recommendations and like leads from agents first, then from Google.
Okay.
Right. Google, which is all my reviews.
Yeah.
And then, I've gotten a few from TikTok, which is random.
Yeah. Wow. So we do that.
But I have gotten I swear to God, the past 5 months, I had about 6 people find me on Reddit. I don't know how.
Reddit?
Yeah,
That's
so you
very
Google,
interesting.
I guess you have a Reddit page about you?
There's a Reddit thread called like New York Home Inspectors. And
Okay.
I don't know which client, because all their usernames are random.
Yeah. They're like,
and it's like, gave me this amazing comment about how my company is great.
That's so nice.
And people are like finding it on Google, like they're clicking that, and then so I'm like, where'd you get my information? Oh, Reddit. I'm like,
Interesting.
Reddit. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because as the more there's out there, you don't know what Google's gonna pull.
Yeah.
As like the top thing. So Reddit was like, Reddit's like it's
Wow, that's
coming
very
up.
unexpected.
Very weird. I was like,
Unexpected.
I was just like, damn, like this Reddit thread made me like $6,000. So
Wow.
this is
Amazing.
insane.
Keep
It's, like,
popping off
crazy.
on Reddit. Everyone.
Yeah, it's like so random. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like other people, back to your question, people saying, oh, who to use. I mean, and who you want, who's available too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good guys. Like I
course.
know, I probably have like 8 friends that are in the business that I would let them inspect my house.
Right.
So that would,
Are there any of course? Are there any?
We all can't be we all can't be
At the same inspection at the
Yeah.
same time,
You know, that's
100%.
true.
So it's always good to have
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
in the field who you could trust. So are there any qualifications that someone should be looking for in a home inspector? Maybe like certifications, like mold, things like that?
You gotta be licensed. You gotta, a New York State license. But to be honest, I wouldn't let go off that because the license is very easy.
Same
to get.
with real estate
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
It's
because
a
you're
little harder.
licensed.
It's 150 hours, but you still need to take a New York test, which is not that hard.
Okay.
And then, but the thing about the inspection business that is like, I don't know if it's similar to real estate necessarily, because we don't have to do a lot. Like you can go in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the SOP that says you have to take pictures. There's nothing that says you have to go on the roof. There's nothing that
Wow,
says you have
that's
to go.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
like-
then, what would you even be doing if you're not
literally
doing any
walk
of
in there.
that?
Inspector
Right?
by law can walk in there, like a licensed New York State home inspector can walk in there with a clipboard and just say in like line items if the roof is in satisfactory condition, and if it's not, just a little comment. Oh, it's in moderate condition or it has wear.
Wow.
That's it. And there's
It's like
no
a little
pictures.
disturbing.
And there is, they're called clipboard inspectors, and they do exist. And they'll undercut, 40% less than what I'll charge.
well, you get what you pay for.
Exactly. So they won't. They're not going to go on the roof.
Yeah.
They're not going to. You do have to run the heating systems. You do have to run the cooling system. Buy the SOP. But like electrical, you don't have to. You don't even have to check like every outlet. You can check one outlet in the room. You can check like one window and walk out of the room.
That's it? Oh
So
my
it's like a
gosh.
representative. It's called the representative number. Most
Okay.
inspectors follow the like InterNACHI, these associations. They have different higher standards.
Okay.
And if you're in them, your inspector is supposed to be doing every outlet, every window.
Of course.
Going
You're
into
held
the
to like a
panel.
higher standard,
Right.
kind of like our equivalent
Going
to like
onto
NAR or
the roof.
something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, there is like databases for those guys. I'm part of InterNACHI. Most inspectors are part of InterNACHI that are good.
Yeah.
Not the
Qualified.
clipboard guys. you
Yeah.
know. I think those guys are slowly dying out because, we're just, the
100%.
industry is just
Evolving,
elevated.
yeah.
This is the same
sure.
with real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Different ways of doing things.
Right. Interesting.
yeah.
But piggybacking off of Trudy's question, like you said, there's so many inspectors in the industry in, New York, Long Island. So what do you do to differentiate yourself and how do you kind of like stand out?
Yeah, I think like our branding, like, I try to put my brand on everything.
Yeah.
Like that started at the beginning of my business.
Yeah.
Actually, but I did I made my logo myself and then I rebranded.
Wow.
I didn't change my name, but I rebranded my logo to like be like brighter, more professional looking.
Stand out.
I hired someone to do it, not myself. I hired a better designer than me, and I just try to we try to be faster than most inspectors. Some guys are there a very long time. I try to tell my inspectors, like, don't be there more than 2 hours.
Yeah, quick and efficient.
Unless it's a really, really big house, and even what happens is if the house is really in bad shape, guys will stay there way too long and like nitpick everything.
Yeah.
You have to start going, okay, big picture. Like, we're not going to look at every piece of broken molding and take a picture. Why?
Yeah.
Well, it's wasting everyone's time. The whole room has molding damage. You take pictures and then you group it together.
Right.
Having a pace of a faster pace than most other inspectors, I think, is better. And doing more office work at home. A lot of guys will spend twice the time and you'll get the report in person. Which, I think is, there's good and bad to that. Because then the person's just process what you said and then they have their report. Now they can read it right there. It's just a lot. We did the report, you got in person, and then in 2 hours, you're going to get a more detailed report. Maybe watch it later. Look at it, read it later. But the whole point of the inspection is you should walk away from the inspection with the inspector, like pretty much having deciding. If you're going to move forward or not. Not, I need to read this whole report now. The report is 80 pages, sometimes 140 pages.
It's overwhelming too, because I feel like it always looks worse too than like what it actually is.
I mean, if you weren't at the inspection, the report is your Bible. You're looking 100%. At everything. But also it's, most reports are like, they're overkill. Even if you're not trying to be, like, they're just, we're looking for perfection. That's all. That's my line every time I'm with somebody. When I first start, said, we are looking at perfection. If there's a hole in your wall that costs $6 to fix, it's going to be in the report. That's it. So if, that might bother you, you might hang a picture frame and not fix it. Whatever. But the point is, if there's damage to your property in this house, that's why you're hiring me. So we're looking for perfection. Like, if the carpet is wrinkled, right? Then it's going to be in the report. Like stuff like that. Like, it's pulled up and messed up. Most people are going to rip the carpet out any day.
For sure.
I'm sure that also kind of like protects you though a little bit more to be in like detailed. So people can't come back and be like, oh, well.
No one's going to usually, listen, no one calls back for something like that. It's always like a callback for
something big.
Plus $10,000 fix. Or plus $5,000 fix. Because I had a person call me about plumbing once. Oh, there was a crawl space and the sewer lines were all rusted. And I do so many inspections, so I was like, oh, okay, let me check the report. I don't remember anything about this house. And thank God. It was in there, black and white. It said, plumbing is completely rusted. The drain pipes need to be replaced. They were old iron, whatever. And they're like, oh, but you didn't show us on the report. And I said, you got the report.
Right.
How am I going to show it to you? You're not going to come in the crawl space with me. That's my job. You have to look at the crawl space section and read it.
And it's 80 pages. Like, that's up to them if they don't want to read through it for their house. That's on them.
Well, and again, it was like, it's just, were you not going to buy this house because of that? Were you not going to, this is your dream neighborhood or whatever? You have to
pick and choose what's going to be a deal breaker or not. Obviously, I think, we could speak for most people, the big ticket items. If the roof is going to need repairing, a boiler, hot water heater, things like that. Usually, even then, like most of the time, it's just a credit. It's not even like a deal breaker.
Exactly.
Well, exactly. I always try to defer to the realtor too with a lot of things because, you guys had the agent,
of course.
the client longer, and it's more stressful.
It's always, I always tell my clients, like, it's always up for discussion and renegotiation. That's when we would renegotiate if need be.
Right. No, I totally get that. So I know, like, you said you do like a lot of different things that differentiate you, but I feel like a big thing for anyone who doesn't follow you is your social media. Like, your Instagram is popping.
I try to make it a little aesthetic.
I was gonna say, like, what you do, it's like, you can't, like, if I just scrolled and like didn't even see it's like casino home inspections, but I would know that I would know. Post. Right. So I guess, like, how do you use social media to kind of leverage clients?
So, I try to post. I don't post all my houses anymore. I used to post every house.
I remember that.
I do it. I still do it. Like, if I do, but it's hard because if I try to only do it if it's an agent.
Yeah.
If it's an agent that referred me and it's their deal.
Because it's kind of nice. Like it makes them feel special.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, you had an accepted offer.
Yeah.
But there's caveats to that because sometimes they don't want people to know.
Yeah.
Like if it's accepted and then like maybe they put 2 offers out.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, it's not a huge deal because everyone does that.
But some people are like a little bit more low-key.
Like they don't want, I always ask. I'm like, hey, can I do this post? And most of the time people are like, oh my God, yes, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is great, but I try to do the videos are, people say top of mind, but the videos, I try to post as many just to stay engaging. Like they're not, so much tips on like home ownership. It'll be more like, interesting things I found.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is like really something that I've never seen before type of stuff.
Yeah.
Or really good, something that looks totally normal.
Yeah.
And then it's totally messed up.
Yeah.
Like that's like a good video. Like, something
that's like engaging. Because I feel like we always say that too, like with real estate, we would make like very dry videos and it would get like no views because no offense, nobody like, not everyone cares about real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you do stuff like, oh, look at this compared to this, people are like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. So you just want to grab, it's just all attention grabbing.
Totally.
Know? So, I haven't been as good. I guess what I was telling you guys, I haven't been so good on the videos, but you have to be thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been thinking, I've had a lot going on. So I haven't been thinking like during an inspection, like, oh, this would be a great video. Like, let me sneak it, or like, let me get a little clip and then I edit it later or like voice over it or something. So I have not been doing that at all.
Because like when you're in the moment, you're like not thinking about it. And then afterwards you're like, damn
I always say the same thing. Like last weekend, I literally showed like 10 houses. I was like, oh, I wanted to do like a day in my life and like show all my houses. I know. And then at the end of the day, it's 4:00. I'm like, wait, I didn't even take a single picture. Like nothing. Didn't take anything,
Did nothing. It's hard when it's, everyone has your phone and it's just, you have to be thinking about it like on it the whole time.
It's also hard too. I feel like when you're trying to like not be on your phone in front of your client and then like, if things are running a little behind, I'm going to be like, all right, 1 second. Like, let me take a video. And they're like, girl, come on.
Like that video.
With it.
That one video I took a video, I did an open house with an agent and, it was worth, the house was like, it was in Dix Hills or something. And it was like $2.5 million house. And it had this huge, this beautiful, like, radiant heat floor system in the basement. And they put diamond plate behind it, like this chrome diamond plate behind the plumbing. And I took my phone, I put it like on a nail, and I hung it up, and like I was in like a little dress outfit, a dress outfit. I was in like a shirt and tie, a tie and slacks, and I took the video, and it got like. I think I got like 500,000 views or something.
Wow!
And I got I got like 3,000 followers. They were not agents. They were all like HVAC
really
guys.
Cool.
So cool.
They were all HVAC guys, like shitting on the. Sorry, can I curse on
Yes, you can.
They were like talking so much smack about like the brand of boiler, and like they were just fighting in the comments. It has like
that's what they call.
Crazy. But I was like, this is the stupidest video. It was, I only took the video seriously because I looked good. I was in like a good outfit,
right? So
you're like, oh, I looked really good. Let me just. I was like, oh, let
me post that.
So
and it wasn't even it wasn't really home inspecting related. It was really just like
I feel like those are what always do best, like the mindless things that you don't have to think about. Like you just like pull your phone up.
Passionate about that. They're like, this boiler sucks.
Yeah,
like,
it was crazy. I was just like, this video is blowing up. And people were following me, and I was just like, and then I really tried to like do it a few more times, and then it just didn't hit.
Yeah,
I did another one.
It's one of those one-hit wonder things.
Yeah, I did another one. My dad's friend has like a bar that pulls out, and behind it is his boiler. It's like a bar.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. It was sick. And I did that one that got like no views.
Yeah.
And I was like, I tried to like kind of recreate it, and it didn't happen.
It's like, I feel like when you like aren't trying.
Yeah. That's what, I try to do as raw videos as I can.
Yeah.
And
those are always the best.
Authentic. I love it.
I agree.
Because they work the best, I think.
They do. Sure. So Mike, what are the biggest red flags during a home inspection?
Biggest red flags, seriously, is by far like when you have a flue pipe for like the boiler or the hot water heater being disconnected.
What's that?
The flue pipe is like the vent for the CO that goes out to the not the chimney.
Okay, because you don't want carbon monoxide poisoning.
There you go.
Don't want to die.
Because with carbon monoxide, you can't smell it, right?
It's odorless.
Or see
it. Tasteless.
So you'll just...
I have the carbon monoxide detector in my house.
But sometimes you'll see like, I've seen like, it's not the chimney.
Yeah.
Not for the, so usually if you have a fireplace, this is another thing. If you have a fireplace.
Oh, that's the thing that you have to keep open.
Yes. But if you have a fireplace and you have a boiler, right?
Okay.
You're going to have 2 flues in your house.
Okay.
One is for the fireplace because you can't have both.
Yeah.
You can't have them the same, right? So what happens? So I've seen before like a giant hole in the so the vent's fine, but there's a giant hole in the chimney.
Okay.
And I'm like, COs coming into the house in the winter. And that's when when agents like give me a hard time.
Like, come on,
hello, do you want people to die?
Yeah, right.
They're like, yeah, like don't say anything. I go, not don't say anything. They'll say like, oh, I don't want. Don't say this in front of the listing agent. Like, is that whatever? And I'm just like, listen, I have to tell the listing agent because she's here all the time.
100%.
I'm like, what? I have to tell her. She
can't have her
literally
breathing
get sick.
Yeah.
Or die.
Yeah, right.
And people like get a little mad when I say like, I'm not straight up. I'll go right to someone's face and be like, you'll die. You can die.
Yeah.
And sometimes the agents are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm serious.
But you know what? I'd rather someone honest, and I'd rather my client not get that house.
Yeah, I agree.
No, you can just fix it.
Yeah.
Usually it's an easy fix. It's a vent.
That's crazy.
It's we just try to avoid that. Gas leaks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But other red flags are like serious foundation.
Yeah.
Bulging or horizontal cracks, but like really bad, whereas, hydrostatic pressure from water and stuff.
Okay.
That's like, again, but even stuff like that from like different people might be scared or not scared of it.
Yeah.
Because you could fix a lot of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
French drain, whatever. There's so many different things. We're not going to go into the weeds on all the.
No, it just all comes down to the cost and like what they want to.
There you go. I'm not going to, but there's things, most things can be fixed.
Yeah.
I agree. There's always a solution.
Yeah.
If there's like a huge red flag that like I would really is whenever I'm on the outside of a house and I see like the walls, not like cracking in the walls, but like if you see like tilting of the home or like bulging of walls that you can't even figure out where it's coming from, those are huge red flags. Those are like, you don't even know what's going on type things. That's like the worst thing you can see when the walls are off or there's tilting, like a garage, right? You see with garages.
Right. Yeah.
The garage is like this.
Yeah.
You look at the person, you go, this has to get knocked down. There's no saving this. You're not, you're not going to reframe. You're just knocking it down.
Yeah.
So that's like, that's like the worst thing that could probably happen. Even from, again, for me and from maybe some people, like a new roof, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, depending on the person, that might, you need a roof.
Yeah.
Roof's 20 years old, you need a roof, you know, or whatever. So that, like I said, any kind of like movement of the home actually on its axis, bulging
Not
walls,
good.
that is like red flags. Cause that's, you don't even know the solution. You don't even know, I can't even give them a solution if I had one, type thing.
Makes sense. Yeah. Good to know.
So, Mike, what is a myth about home inspections that you wish people would stop believing?
Okay, this is a good one. I like that. The pass fail. Did I pass? That's a big myth. Like, I'm like, there's no pass fail. There's no pass fail. There's no. I don't know where that came from.
Right.
It's just like a
myth.
like a Mandela
I feel like that's like
effect
an
or myth.
older agent type of thing.
Yeah, and then I guess like people. I don't. It's not really a myth, but people are saying, "Oh, what do you think?" I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
What do I think?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what people have been saying to me. Like, do
I think this is a good choice?
Yeah.
Like, should
I'm
I
like,
move
what if it's
forward?
in a bad neighborhood?
Yeah.
What if it's in a neighborhood I don't even like? Then what's my opinion? It's
That's
bad.
true.
You don't want my opinion. Like, if you're looking in a neighborhood I would never live in.
That's a good point, though. I feel like all the clients I had, they always ask like the home inspector, like, what do you think? Or even when the client says, I was like, what do you think? Should I buy it? I'm like, look, maybe to you it's worth the money. To me, I personally don't think so.
Yeah.
But
so
I agree.
That's like the hardest, like one of the hardest parts about and it's not always. Most people, it's not always. It's always like that one.
Yeah, of
one every other,
course.
maybe one in every 5 clients will get really like want your like they want your approval.
It's like if you say yes, they're good. If you say no, they're like nope.
Yeah, and then like you really gotta try and stay just disconnected from that.
Yeah.
Listen, this is just as the house is. Matter of fact, this is where it is. You know, and as a human being and a person in real estate, I have opinions on a lot of stuff.
Of course,
like the driveway's too small. Or like this, or like the kitchen is like weird. You know, I don't say anything about that. But unless it's like a friend. Like my personal friend or someone I'm close to. But like I'm not gonna. I feel like they ask questions about that. I only say good things. I only say good. If I love the house and I love how big the driveway is, or I love the garage, I'm gonna say this garage is sick. I'm not gonna be like, it's too small for me. Like be weird about because
like oh, your kitchen's small.
There's not a lot of cabinet space. But that's I'm trying to think of any other myths about it.
Would you say like I feel like a big myth is just like that home inspectors like kill deals?
I mean I think that. I've never been. Listen, I've been in situations where I have shown someone something and they've been like, yeah, no.
Yeah. The deal's dead.
Yeah, like this is
fair.
But it is always, and honestly, you know, you guys are realtors, and I don't care if any realtors hear this. Yeah. Sometimes it feels really good when you find something that is like something like a movement to the house, or like something that they would never have seen.
Yeah.
Right? Because to the naked person, normal person, naked eye, you know,
it doesn't seem like an issue.
Yeah. They don't even see it. Like a foundation being messed up, most people could come in and look at a foundation and go, "There's something wrong with this." Yeah. You know, they don't have to be an expert to see that, you know, or see that there's damage. But when you find something that, like, that's a serious, you know, even the roof, like most people see a roof and go, like, that's not new. That's an old roof. Like it's going to need, you know, a new roof. But when you find, like I said, like a tilt or something, or something, or a safety hazard, and you catch it, that's a job.
Of course.
It feels great.
Yeah.
You know, but I've never, you know, scared someone from buying a house. You know, if anything, I try to tell them, you know, that things can be fixed.
Yeah.
Some people, you know, if you can't do that, you have to hire somebody. You know? And that you don't have to always tell people you don't have to fix everything at once.
Yeah.
In due time, you do one thing at a time. Unless it's a safety hazard.
Yeah.
Then you do it right now, you know. But most safety hazards aren't expensive.
Yeah.
They're pretty cheap, like a handrail, smoke alarms. It's like not, you know, the biggest thing is like a panel, like an old rusted panel. That would be like the most expensive like safety hazard, I would say, you know, or like a sinking roof, you know, or like something, movement to
that's a big problem.
A balcony, like see like a balcony, those or decks, those are big. Those aren't red flags, but those are big things where I'm like, I might be like, you have to rip this whole thing down. Which again is really not expensive. You get a few friends with a sledgehammer, you rip it out, and then that's it. You know, like it might not be that expensive, but to rebuild one might be expensive. You know, so that's where people. You know, I don't think we kill deals.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more, I don't think they come, you know, guys come and like, you know,
purposely look
I think if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how this business is or the industry, and where people are mentally when they're buying a house, like, right, they're very sensitive and delicate at that moment of especially the day, you know, oh, it's inspection day. Everyone's like real freaking out.
Yeah.
So like, if you say, like I said, saying stuff about the house that is out of your scope, saying stuff about the kitchen, or saying that, you know, anything that's negative, that anybody could kill a deal.
Right. If you're going around, oh, that room's so small.
I think moms kill deals more than
they do.
Moms,
it's the parents.
My mom would shred a house, like be like, oh, this is, I don't like the flow. Okay, you know, what do I say to that? You can't fix it.
The
feng shui, you know, whatever. So. You know, I think parents definitely worse.
I agree. The parents are. I literally like. I immediately. It's so bad. If I see like a dad pulling up to the home inspection, I'm like, there goes my deal.
Yeah,
it's done. It is done.
I don't think it's even. It's not even the dads. I think that like when they're talking more about that like I said like the.
How do you feel about parents or like dads who think they know everything? Like they go around and they're like, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong.
There's plenty of guys. Like, listen, if you're a guy and you're like in the trades, I always try to ask people, like, you know, I've done inspections for engineers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, you're an engineer? All right, great. You don't even know what's going to happen today. You don't do what I do.
Yeah. 100%.
Like they, you know, they're doing a totally different job. Yeah. You know, that's not what an inspector is. We're like a microscope, you know, with a magnifying glass looking at your whole property.
Yeah, right.
The toilets, like engineers don't give a shit about the toilets.
Yeah.
You know, like, so if I have a dad that's like a plumber.
Yeah.
And he says something to me about the plumbing, I'm going to listen to him.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, or he's like a, you know, an electrician and he's a master electrician and been in the union for 30 years and he has an opinion on something. I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't even know that. Thank you. Yeah. Like I'll put that in the report. Like, you know, that guy's going to know more than me. And he's the guy that you would be hiring.
Yeah.
So in those situations, like I don't like, you know, run away from those guys.
Yeah.
Try to keep them away. But there is, you know, the worst thing is when people are weird at the agents don't give access to areas. Doors are locked. There's stuff everywhere. And I'm just like, it makes the job
10 times harder. Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to come back unless someone wants me to and they're going to pay me. 100%. I'm not going to come back, you know, because
just for fun.
There's clutter. You know, all right, can't
like
get to
you knew the home inspection was happening. Clean that shit up.
But that's on the listing agents if they want it, if they, you know, and it's on both parties.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, you've seen the house already.
Yeah.
You know it's a mess.
Yeah.
Then I need access to these areas, you know, and stuff like that. and they should just, if it doesn't happen, I try my best, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, you know?
I agree. Nothing you could do.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and it was
Sometimes
what it was.
you shrug it off and you go, all right.
Yeah,
that's it.
on to the next.
Yeah.
That was gross.
What's going? Are you guys twins?
No,
Everyone thinks
everybody's
that.
always asked.
You're not
that.
twins. I know that. You're not sisters either.
She has the better
Besties.
lungs than I do.
I'm not asthmatic.
So, Mike, it was amazing having you. But before we, sign off on this episode, we always like to ask everybody, if you could give a younger you advice, what would it be?
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with some knowledge. Right
Ooh,
here.
I'm ready.
Oh, we're getting knowledge right here. Okay, I would tell them.
Yeah.
What's younger? Like we're talking like any
Little you.
like 5-year-old,
five.
like 5-year-old me,
5-year-old you.
Elementary, just
okay.
younger, where like you didn't have the knowledge you have now. Yeah.
Okay, 15-year-old me.
Okay,
Or 18-year-old me. Even 18-year-old. 18.
Okay.
That's 13 years ago.
Perfect.
I would say that. I would tell him that. Hey, asshole. Okay. You're where you wanted to be 5 years ago.
That's a good point.
That's what I would tell. If I
agree.
if I told you 3 years ago
Yeah.
that I'd be, my business would be where it's at. I'm a fireman. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Trying to buy a house, and I have 2 employees that I make
Yeah.
them money for them.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, my life's like made.
Yeah.
But then I'm here, and then I go, oh,
You're like, I want this.
I gotta,
You're on to
I
the
gotta get a
next.
bigger
Yeah.
truck. I gotta
Yeah.
get a bigger house. Like that's,
Of course. Always
that's
dreaming
what I would
bigger.
tell myself, that you're where you want to be. Like you were thinking, oh, you
Yeah.
want to be in college, get into Buffalo,
Yeah.
da, da, da. And now you're there, and you're just like, oh, I can't wait to get out of college.
Yeah.
course.
So
I
I
agree.
think
Always
that
waiting for the next
I try
thing.
to, be in the moment more.
I
would
love
tell them to be in
that.
the moment, because you're where you wanted to be 4 years ago.
I actually
I love
love that,
that.
because
Yeah,
it's like
well-
from day to day, it seems like, oh, nothing changed. But then when you like reflect back, you're like, wow, I actually grew a lot.
Yeah.
If I said, right, my goal, if I had a goal, here, you want more. My
Yeah.
goal would be for my business to make $250,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's possible.
If that to just gross, whatever, gross, in sales.
Yeah.
Right. If my 5 years ago, myself 5 years ago said, when I started doing this business, I said I wanted to average like 4 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're averaging like 20 a month.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, still like, oh, I could do 40,
Right,
whatever.
of
Like,
course.
like that's crazy to me.
Right,
yeah.
It's just, you're always going for the next thing. So.
Right.
Yes.
But back then, like 4 years ago, you would have like 20 a month. Crazy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
Yeah,
you could never
I'd
fathom
be a
it.
millionaire, or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
Or, it's just like, that's what every, I feel like I've been,
Yeah.
that's the grind, right?
Yes,
Everybody's like
that's
that.
the grind.
You always
Yeah.
want to go up.
I agree. I always tell Danny, like, when things get hectic in real estate, like obviously I talk to her every day, we'll be like going back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, like today's such a long day. I'm so busy. Like I'm literally doing whatever from the second I wake up to the second I go home. I'm still working. It's 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I used to pray for the days that I was
Yeah.
this busy. Like I was
Yeah,
dying to be
yeah.
this busy. So I just have to like remind myself, like I'm grateful and
Yeah.
I've
This
worked
is-
really hard to get
This
here.
is what
and-
you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what you want.
Exactly. So I
This
can't
is what
complain.
you wanted.
Exactly.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Yeah,
But
that's awesome.
wait, before
Oh,
we
it's
say
more
our
than-
goodbyes,
Okay.
I just want you to share with the Chaos Crew your information in case anyone wants to get in touch with you.
Casino Home Inspections, LLC on Google. If you are in all of our Instagram, LinkedIn is Casino Home Inspections. So what else you got? Facebook.
Do you want to share your phone number?
Oh, 718-679-2750. That's my personal cell phone. You can hit me up. I am the admin and the CEO.
Amazing.
And you're not getting my fiance's number. So you can find that at,
No.
Find that at Oversouth. So.
Yeah.
The man does it all.
Yes.
Alrighty, Mike. It was a pleasure having you.
Yes.
Thank you for supporting
Thank you.
us since day one. We are so happy
Thank
to
you.
have you
Yeah.
on. And that's a wrap on episode 5. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.